goodness, everybody. Look, I am super excited to bring on my brother, my friend, someone who is an amazing branding expert, plus everything else. I'm going to let him talk a little bit about his background. And for those of you who are on my email list, you saw the lengthy bio that I shared. But I want to welcome you, first of all, to Stream Like a Boss TV. So, look, this is the home of folks who are considering themselves to be hashtag OG. If you have watched this show before, if you've been with me for some time, I want you to put in hashtag OG because you are family. And if this is your very first time, I got to tell you just a little bit about the show. I want you to type in hashtag newbie, and I want to let you know how much I appreciate you being here. So look, this show, Stream Like a Boss TV, is all about how to leverage live stream marketing and video content marketing, for that matter, to really stand out, to serve more people and sell more of your services. So whether you are a coach or a content creator of another kind, this is a spot for you. And I am super excited that you're here. Tonight's question of the day is, what is your top challenge as a content creator? So you'll see that right here on the scene. And in just a few minutes, I'm absolutely going to be acknowledging you. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to this too. We're going to do this, but I want to definitely get my friend JP Hightek on the stage so that I can introduce you to him if you've never met him before, and reintroduce him to you if you've been here for the show or on the show for some time, because he's a repeat guest. And I'll tell you a little bit about why in just a second. So what I want to encourage you to do is to go ahead and get your notepad and your pen. I want you to make sure that you bring your questions to the chat. I already see a few folks that are saying hashtag OG in there. Bring your questions to the chat. Bring your excitement. Make sure that you're ready to share some love, but also get some answers to questions that may have been pending and on your mind as a content creator, because we're going to talk about some challenges. We had a little bit of a deep conversation just a second ago. We might be touching on some of that. I'll see you right back after this clip, and we'll have JP with us, okay? There's my friend, JP Hightek. It is amazing that I get a chance to spend time with you again. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yes. Hey, Tanya. Hey, everyone. So excited to be back here. Always an honor, specifically to be re-invited, right? That means that we're doing something right. And I'm blessed and excited about today's connection as well. So shout out to all the folks in the comment section. Excited to be here.
Yes, I'm going to pop up some of these comments so we can say hello personally. Let's do that real fast. Let's see. We got John Lacey in the house. He said, "Hi, hey all. Hashtag OG." I know it. Valerie Harris, also another OG in the house. Yes. Wait. Look, this is for real. What Dan has put here is true. What does it feel like when you go on a show whose intro is 1/100th of yours? Oh, no. He is a hot mess. Oh, my goodness. Black Podcasters Association in the house. Is that Corey? What's up? We are looking forward to it, too. Yes, it is. It's
hey, Corey.
Stacy Moore, hashtag OG. Tiffany says hashtag OG status. Stacy said, "What's up, JP?"
What's good, Stacy?
And let's see, Michelle Raymond in the house. Good day to both of you fabulous people. Good day to you, hey, Michelle. I always
Michelle. Oh,
I
yeah.
love it. Tatiana, help. Hello, friends. What's up? And there's
Hey,
Miss
Tatiana.
Erica Bates. Everybody's in the house. Dang. Like it's everyone here. All the famous people are in the house. All love all the time. Look, JP, I want to get into it, but first I want you to share a little bit about yourself for those people who don't know you, which are probably very few people. But before I do that, I want to mention this about you. So for those of you who don't know JP Hightek, first of all, when I was looking for someone to help me to really take my brand to the next level, like my brand has never been shabby, but when I was ready to do live streaming at the next level and I wanted someone to help me to like really help put on a show, like to really have the right graphics. I was just getting into Ecamm Live. The first person, of course, I thought of was JP Hightek. So even in the intro video that you just saw a clip of a few seconds ago, some of that is his handiwork as well because I went to his studio in Tennessee. I trust him that much. I think that he's someone who is amazing when it comes to digital marketing, branding, expertise in all types of areas. So I just want to thank you for being here and spending the time, JP. And I'm looking forward to hearing about your special announcement, which we're going to get to shortly. But tell the folks about yourself.
Yes, Tanya. First of all, an honor, right? An honor to have, participated in the amazing things you're doing. An honor that, you've trusted me and my company with your brand, which is a big deal. And for the folks that don't know me, hey, I'm JP, right? I'm a global branding and media expert. I really love impacting people, but I work with, small businesses, individuals, and corporations build a premium brand. And so the way we do that is leveraging content creation and technology. We're talking everything you can imagine in regards to technology, but we do it with strategy so that it can make sense. So you can quickly, grow your business, dominate your competition, and really charge more for your product and services. That's what it's all about. But there's more strategy in this than anything else. I'm also the honor of, and honored to tell you that I'm the founder of the Content Creators University, which is a platform to empower content creators to master the business side of creating content. So that's a little bit about me. One thing that I appreciate is that I'm surrounded by phenomenal folks. I am a husband. I am a father of three. And I just love my community and the amazing folks such as yourself that are here. So thank you. I'm excited about today's conversation and the announcement coming up. It's coming up.
It is coming up. And I'm honored that you chose this show to be on to share it. So JP reached out, I don't know, it was several weeks back, and we kind of talked about it. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's talk about this. I'm willing, I'm in, I'm ready to do this. Let me ask you a question before we go to the announcement. We were talking before the show about content creators and just some of the challenges that they face right now. If you were to identify maybe, I don't know, a couple of the biggest challenges that you're hearing from other content creators right now, what would be maybe like one or two that you see as top of mind challenges for content creators in this moment? Because I know that there are lots, but what are the top two that you've been hearing about lately?
Wow. Wow. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot, right? And I'm part of several private circles. The number one thing that keeps coming is how to create a consistent cash flow, leveraging content. How to keep making money on a consistent basis. Because they're like, yeah, here and there, they can get some gigs here and there, but it's not something that they can build anything, tangible on. Which leads to the next thing, which is how do you build a real business? How do you create a real business?
Yeah.
Because of course we understand that the fact that you went and got the registration of the LLC or whatever you've done legally doesn't mean you have a business. Well, on paper you do, but you don't have a business yet, right? So how do you actually build a business? How do you position yourself to be seen as an organization versus a one-man show so you can charge certain prices and make a living off of your genius? And that is something that keeps coming over and over and over and over again. And sadly, I've met a lot of amazing creators. I mean, when I talk about creators, they'll run circles around me. They're good at creating content. I mean, oh boy. But sadly, they're struggling with that aspect. They really do not know how to transition from the amazing creativity they have to making tangible money. Not not a whole bunch of likes and comments. Like I always say, those do not pay the bills.
That's
I'm
right.
talking real money. And that is something that is, predominant in the creative, space, in the creator economy, which is $1 billion economy. And it's just about strategy and understanding the best approach. So, yeah.
So, the announcement that you're going to share, are we ready to talk about it?
Oh, we are.
Okay, okay. Well, look, we're going to give him a little quick intro, and then I'm going to bring JP on to talk about the announcement because I feel like what you just shared is definitely a common challenge that many of us as content creators are facing. If you're in the chat right now and that is something that you're dealing with, if you resonate with that, maybe you're not even dealing with it yourself, but you resonate with the message he just shared about the top two challenges for content creators, I want you to type in a one. So if that, yeah, hot off the press, here we go, hot off the press, we're going to introduce something that I think is going to help with the things that you just mentioned, if I'm right.
Hmm.
All right, here we
Yes.
go, y'all. Get ready.
All right, family. Check this out. Check this out. I know some of you guys are aware of this. You've heard we've done similar previous years. Creators Unleashed is back right now. For the folks that don't know, what is Creators Unleashed? Well, the genesis of this is Creators Unleashed, right? Is a yearly conference that I host where I partner with one of the best minds in business, in technology, right? In order to allow you to learn from them and really grow what you're doing, leveraging content creation. Now, here's the thing. What's different this year? Well, this year's called Creators Unleashed Live. What is this? It's a 5-day challenge. Now, this is major, okay? Because we're about to roll up our sleeves and give you the play, the blueprint, ingest in you every single thing that I've known that have allowed me to build my podcast to 6 figures in 5 months, that allowed me to have my name on the building, that allowed me to hire employees, that allowed me to make the money that I make and still making consistent cash flow. I'm about to share all that with you in 5 days, hands-on workshop, giving you all the strategies, giving you homework, providing you with every single answer you can ask because we'll have live Q&A. Listen, family, there's a lot that we're giving, which is why it's taking 5 days, right? We will be meeting every day for 5 days. And the ultimate goal here is at the end of this, you will have a clear strategy and clarity on how to reach the goals. And of course, I won't be by myself. I'm bringing in some heavy hitters, people that have made over $50 million with their businesses and more. They're coming to give you and answer your questions. So Tanya, let's talk about it because I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I got to pop this up because I wanted people to see like the page is ready. So, absolutely scan the QR code, head over there, and let's talk about this because I want to talk about it in the
Mhm.
context of how this is actually going to help people with the challenges that you just mentioned. So I will pop the link back up again, y'all, but I want to dive into some questions and some get some answers from our guest expert here about this whole idea of the challenge. So first of all, what inspired you to create a challenge for this?
I love the question. That is in part integral what I was just sharing earlier, right? With all the struggles and the hardships that creatives are facing. And so one thing, of course, like I said, that we've done the conference, which you were part of, Tanya, right?
Yeah.
Last edition. But the thing is that I keep feeling we didn't have enough time because I mean the conference wasn't a several days, right? It's just a
Mm-hmm.
one time where we meet and then we share. And I had amazing folks like you share. But people had more questions. People were not figuring everything out, right? Throughout the
Yeah.
year, which you notice I haven't done it last year. The reason why I haven't done it last year is because me and my team, we've been thinking what will be the best approach in order to deliver more value and give people more strategies because there's
Mm-hmm.
more to the whole thing that we do. And there's only so much we can teach somebody in a 1 hour or 2 hour event, right? And
Yeah.
so we came back and we're like, you know what? It has to be a challenge. Why a challenge? Because we're challenging you, right? To trust the process and to implement things in your business in order to start seeing a change immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing, unless people are challenged, unless they want to overcome something, unless they're put at a position where it is either you embrace this and see the transformation, or you might stay there and struggling for years. Sometimes people do not jump on the opportunity, right? It's a mindset thing. So we're like, all right, let's put this challenge up and see who truly is up for the challenge to see a true growth, tangible return on their
Mm-hmm.
investment versus all these amazing things that, it is great, but it doesn't help, which is buying all the shiny equipment, buying all the microphones,
Yep.
buying all the lighting, all those things are great, but it becomes a very expensive hobby if you really don't know how to make a return on your investment, if you don't know how to make money with all this amazing equipment that you have at home, right?
Yep.
And that is a problem because the economy, if we know, is not helping, right? We're not getting paid more money if you have a 9 to 5 jobs, right? And so life keep getting more and more expensive. Well,
Mm-hmm.
how do people like me are able to pave the way and be successful and make money, make return, pay our bills,
Mm-hmm.
right? Keep the lights on and enjoy ourselves and smile every day, where it's not an expensive hobby, but it's something that every time I come in my studio, I'm excited because this is paying me every single month. And how I did it, how others have done it, right? We're coming to share that and answer questions because that was also a very part integral of why we wanted to do it, a 5-day challenge, to take the time and have people ask their questions and have custom tailored strategy given to them. And then we want to observe and make sure they're going home, implementing the things we're telling them, coming back the following day, giving us real-time feedback, and we're
Mm-hmm.
growing together like that, which is the best way, I believe, to quickly, right, grow our business.
Let me
So
tell
that's
you
why
why I
we
think I
decided to
like
put it up.
the idea of challenge, JP. I like challenges because, and I asked you that question for a reason, because what I think sometimes people will do is, like you said, they'll go buy the books, they'll buy the courses, and those things sit on the shelf. The best possible way for you to get results is by doing the work. And the thing
Mm-hmm.
about challenges, I think that is really a positive, and the way that you've structured this is the thing about challenges is that it gives you a practice, space to run in. So you're making the mistakes, but you have somebody kind of walking alongside you to help you to course correct
Mm-hmm.
while you're making those mistakes, and you're learning because you're actually doing and you're implementing on a
Right.
short, urgent scale. So I really think that this is a smart way for you to actually manage this particular event. I don't know, you didn't do a challenge the last time that we did this, right? It
No,
was more,
no,
yeah, it
this
was
is the
more
very
lecture
first time we're
style.
doing a challenge. Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah. So I do. I
Right.
think this is super smart. I think it makes sense. I think people will learn more because they're actually implementing and taking specific actions. So tell us a little bit about. I know you have a guest that I saw on the page, Josh Tapp.
Josh Tab. Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And are there others as well, or is it primarily you and Josh right now?
It's primarily me,
Okay,
Josh, and there's another amazing guest called Joe. Joe, founder of Multiply Inc.,
okay,
making millions of dollars. He will be there as well. But primarily, I will be really giving and sharing a lot of my strategies because ultimately I understand my community and they're coming to support, to add to it. Because we're not just talking about lecture, we're talking about lecture, drill down strategy,
mm-hmm.
workshop, hands-on assistance, Q&A, then support after the 5 days. So that's very important for me because I don't want people to come and learn all these things, even though they've implemented certain things in 5 days, they still need certain support, right?
Yeah,
In the year to come. And that will follow them for a year to come because we really want people to be successful. There's a lot of things that we'll be talking about. And so one of the things, for example, that we'll be talking about is we'll be embracing my unique process, which is the game, right? It's called the game. And so in the game, the first thing is, in order, the first thing is, the power of content marketing strategy and understanding that by itself, because a lot of folks, for example, they'll be like, okay, let's go, right? I want to market myself. I want to put myself on social
Right.
media. I want to post a lot of different content. I want to create reels. Hey, here's the thing. Tanya, let's be real. You posting videos on YouTube is not a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You creating reels on social media is not a strategy. You posting every day across different places, sending emails to your followers is not a strategy for business
Right.
growth. All right, it's not a marketing strategy. And also, let's understand that branding and marketing are two different things. A lot of folks have those mixed up, right?
Yep.
And so we're gonna define and give people clarity on what branding is, on what marketing is, on how to have a content marketing strategy so you can leverage content creation to truly grow your business, which is something that we got to do, because if you do not have that, then you're not going anywhere. Let's think about this. When you're building a house, you don't just want to go and build a house. You want to follow a blueprint, right? Either you want to see an architect or you want to see a builder. Well, you got to follow blueprint for the house. Even though you might be looking for a 5-bedroom like somebody else, not every 5-bedroom is built the same. So the content marketing strategy is teaching you how to establish that blueprint that is good for what you're specifically looking for, your industry, the type of business that you have, because it is not all the same. They're not all built the same. And whenever you have that strategy, now you can follow that blueprint and build your house the right way, so that whenever adversity comes, whenever you have bad weather and all that, you don't lose what you just built, right? And whenever we do those things, it's not just allowing you to have a clear process for the long term, which is like 2 to 5 years, but in the immediate future. What changes are you supposed to see in the immediate future? Right? We've got to have a minimum of 100% return on investment whenever we're ingesting money into our businesses. And also, this will define how serious you're taking your business, right? Do you even understand what a business is in 2024? I said it earlier. Having an LLC doesn't mean you have a business. Yeah, on paper you do, but you don't have a business, right? And so, how can you establish your business properly? How can you have funds for your business? How can you work with larger organizations that will trust you, right? And pay you $50,000, $40,000, $20,000, like they've been paying me. That there's an approach to do that. And there's a way to position it. And when you do that, it pays every single time. But there's just certain conversations that cannot be held in public, right? There's certain things that we cannot talk about on YouTube or on Facebook. We got to be together and we have to drill down on what has been working, what has not been working. And here's the thing. I always say, yes, AI is great, but it may not be the best thing for you or for the type of business you have. It's not for everyone. Let's
So
talk
I
about
want
it.
to get into that. I want to talk about that right now because, and I go off script sometimes. So that's what I'm doing. Let me go ahead and warn you. But I did want to bring this up, this whole idea of AI. I love the fact that we have the capabilities that AI allows us to have. I also
Mm-hmm.
realize that there are certain instances where you can find yourself using it as a crutch in place of a true strategy, a true branding strategy, a true marketing strategy, a true anything strategy. So I feel like we have to be careful that we're not replacing our own experience and our own thoughts and ideas with a bot. But we can
Mm-hmm.
use it to
Mm-hmm.
enhance what we already know and the things that we're learning, right? So, what is your thought in terms of artificial intelligence, well, generative artificial intelligence, and how it's made an impact on content marketing? How has that created another separate challenge for creators?
Great question, and I love that we're diving into that because this is great, but at the same time, it's created a major challenge for a lot of creatives because, like I just mentioned, a lot of creators do not understand how to build a business. Whenever you're
Yeah.
building a business, there are a couple of things you need to understand when you're building a premium brand. One, you need to define a voice for your brand, right? You need to define a mood for your business. You need to understand, not just study, but understand your ideal customer. AI is not going to do that for you. Okay. A human is going to have to do that legwork. Okay. AI is prompt based, meaning it's data backed. You need to ingest data into an AI in order to receive a response. AI does not understand the nuances in the human factor, right? For example, every single year, there's certain seasons of the year where people spend a lot of money. Depending on the type of business you have, it may be beneficial for you to promote or not. For example, Amazon has something called Amazon Prime. They didn't always have that. They went from Amazon Prime subscription to Amazon Prime Day. They went from Prime Day to Prime Week. Why? It's based on a certain behavior from their customer base, from their ideal customer, right? AI is not going to give you that. So whenever you have an AI and you do not understand that you're using that to replace the proper process that you need to follow in order to build a sustainable business and a premium brand, now the AI is doing a work on wrong data because the AI does not understand your voice or the mood that you have. What does mood mean? I'm glad you're thinking about that. The mood is the tone in which you decide to communicate to your target audience in order to attract and convert people. We'll dive more into that during our training, during our challenge. But unless you have a specific mood, you will be posting things mimicking other people's tone whenever they're doing it without understanding why they're taking that approach whenever they're posting. And then you will now resonate with the people you want to resonate with, and the wrong target will now started to come to your email list or trying to book you, and you realize that is a waste of time because you do not just want to have a calendar full of meetings and no conversion. I'd rather have one person a month booking my calendar and booking them, landing them every single time. That is what you want to do. And there's a strategy and approach for every single thing we do. And I say, do things with purpose and
Yes.
strategy. And that's what we're talking about.
Totally, totally, totally. So this is again why I do love that you're going to be offering it this event in this manner because not only are you giving folks the ability to be able to actually practice and to implement as you teach them these different concepts, but it's also so important to really kind of break this thing down and be intentional. And one of the things I always even share, you touched on this earlier too, is the idea that everybody with skin is not your client.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I had to learn that the hard way because when I first started out, and I think you know this story, but when I first started out, I was selling cosmetics because I'm in Dallas. So you can think about
Mm-hmm.
what that is. I was selling cosmetics, and I'll never forget one of my mentors at the time. She said, your customer is everyone with skin. And so I took that with me into the business world and thought, okay, well, that just means I needed like super blast everyone.
Right, right.
But I learned very quickly that I didn't have an unlimited budget, whereas Southwest Airlines, Coca-Cola,
Mm-hmm.
big brands, they have a huge R&D budget, so a research and
Mm-hmm.
development budget, and they have a huge budget to put into advertising and promotion. We are limited in our time and in the budget that we put out there to actually get the right clients. So I love your point,
Mm-hmm.
JP, about don't fill up your whole tank with a bunch of folks who really are not even your ideal clients and you can't serve them well.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
And to add to that, Tanya, to add to that, this is so serious that if I were to tell you or the audience right there that you can have a business that you started today, and in 90 days, that business will pay you a minimum of $10,000 guaranteed. What would you say? The average person will be like, what do you mean? How's that
Yeah.
even possible? It is possible. It is possible. But you may not know how that is possible. Well, we'll
Yeah.
talk about that. We're
Well,
about
I
to
love
talk
that you're
about
going
that
to do
here.
the how, that you're going to do the how. Look, so
Mm-hmm.
Re-Inspire Retailers, you said, I don't want a calendar full of meetings and no conversions, right?
Right.
Totally, totally. Dan did ask a question about the cost of the event. So I'm curious if you want to share that now or.
Yeah, of course,
Okay.
of course. The cost is $97 for the live, and of course, the recording for the folks that want the recording after the 5 days is $1,000. But the actual challenge for the 5 days is $97 investment for you to go ahead and get it. Well, go ahead and get it right now because I wanted to charge more. To be honest with you, my team said no, let's not charge them too much because those are things that I paid a whole lot of money for, right?
Yeah.
And Tanya, you know me. You came to my office down here in the state of
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee. You came to my studio. You see the equipment that I have. It
Yep.
is a lot of money. We
Mm-hmm.
put a lot of money into putting your name on the building and having all of those stuff that we use in order to work with amazing customers, clients like you. It is a lot of money. And how can anybody do those type of things? It takes a lot. Now, trial and error, mistakes, right?
Yep.
Nights where you're not sleeping, you're crying. When you sign and close on the property, you're like, oh my God, am I gonna have the closing funds in time, right? Whenever you're on a
Mm-hmm.
net 30 or 90 with a client that's not paying you, what are the things that you can do in order not to go under? I mean, we paid the price and we're giving you the discount for $97.
Yeah.
That's the best that we can do, right? I wanted to charge minimum $250 for this, right? But well, we're doing
No, I think
$97. Go ahead and
97
grab
is
it.
absolutely more than fair. And the thing is, one of the things that I had to do early on in my career is to realize something that I've carried with me forward. And it's been 20 years now that I've been in business for myself. One of the things that my early mentor said is you can't charge somebody $10,000 if you haven't paid $10,000. You can't charge somebody $1,000 if you haven't paid, you haven't invested in yourself $1,000 for your own coach. How are you out there thinking that you're going to charge somebody that amount?
Right,
Because it's a
right.
mindset thing. So the fact that you're charging only $97 for the things that you're talking about giving is really, it is more than fair. And I think that that's value. So thank you for.
Yeah.
Because at the
You
same
know,
time, can we talk about
mhm,
content creators who we were talking about this before we got on this call,
right.
who are challenged right now? There's a lot of folks that are feeling they're feeling overwhelmed. They're not earning what they feel they should and what they deserve. Right? They're
Hmm.
not earning what they should
Hmm.
be making. What are some
Hmm.
of the reasons why that is happening in your mind? What's your thought on that? Why?
Understanding the rules of the game. That's why my program is called The Game. Listen, this economy, it is a game. And people that know how to play it keep playing the same game day in, day out. A lot of creatives get into their emotions about, and I'm not saying this is a negative way, right? But whenever we're creators, and I meet a lot of creators I work with, we honestly think we know it all. The fact that you know how to operate a camera doesn't mean you know how to truly make money with it. The fact that you understand how to use Photoshop doesn't mean you understand how to charge somebody $25,000 and they will pay you without hesitation. Those are two different things. And a lot of creators get caught up in that understanding. Yeah, man, I can do all of this. I can present it myself like this. But whenever you go to those clients that will pay you those type of money are not just looking at how great you are at the creation tool, the Adobe Suite tool, or how great your website is. No, there's certain other things that they will look at before they can even decide to trust you. Let me give you an example, right? I've had a client decided to go with us. We charge more. We charge, as a matter of fact, $5,000 more versus the other company that was recommended to them. So I always ask my, clients, why did you decide to go with us? They said that they trusted us more. And I went deeper. What is that one thing that made you trust us more? You know what the client said? Just one thing. Well, for starters, you guys are not using the Gmail and try to take over $10,000 from me. Something as simple as not
Ooh.
using the Gmail. How can you're trying to charge somebody. You want somebody to pay you $15,000 and your business email is a Gmail. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say. For certain customers, clients, they're not even going to calculate you.
Oh, sorry. I had to
Things
put the
that
gold
small.
nugget up there because
I
it's the
know.
little things that we miss, y'all. And this is not to be condescending to anyone. It is
No.
about education. It's about being informed because you're right. I think what happens is the shiny object syndrome. And I'm not talking about going and finding shiny objects. I'm talking about seeing other people that you think are
Right.
successful because of the way that things look on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
somebody has 10,000 plus followers, because they have this,
Right.
because they have that. So you're making assumptions that they're also earning money. You're making assumptions
Mm.
that they're driving revenue. And the thing is, even with my smallest community, I have been able to generate revenue. Even with, it doesn't matter the audience size, it doesn't matter how many likes I get. What matters to me is, am I engaging the right people who see the value and the benefit of what I do? And so everything that you're talking about in terms of strategy, I think that's the key. We have to be purposeful. We have to have strategy. We have to have roadmaps. And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
believe you're going to be able to provide to folks in this event through this challenge.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, for example, if I were to ask, and I've asked this, how many folks in the comment section right now have a 50K offer and $100,000 offer? How many? Let me know in the comment section below. Right? If you have a $50,000 offer that you can offer somebody right now for them to buy, and $100,000 offer, let me know right now. Those are things that we need to have. Is not when you meet somebody that can pay that you go ahead and create it. You need to have it right now. In order to have that type of offer, the offer needs to contain certain things, right? And so we're even about to learn that with Josh Tapp that I mentioned. He made over $50 million with his podcast. So I'm not talking about real estate and all that. Let me be clear. With his podcast, look him up, Josh Tapp, Tapp. Okay. Look up his podcast, one of the top business podcasts in the industry. Look him up. Look at his awards. The receipts are there. Okay. We are serious business owners, right? You can drive into our cities and come into our offices. Okay. We are showing people how to truly make return on investment through this. I want to learn how to potentially make $50 million. Don't you
Yeah.
want to learn that, Tanya? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'll be at the conference. Yeah.
Exactly. Those are the type of thing I'm always learning. People that follow me, they know JP always open to learning. Why
Right.
don't I know? Because if you can be part of certain circles, 1 hour with certain people will change
Yes.
your life.
Yes. Yes. The reason why
I want to be there.
I paid for a coach, I paid a pretty penny for a coach because I knew just that 1 hour would change the entire trajectory of my business, and it did. So the investment that we make in ourselves for learning is so important, and you never stop learning.
Never.
So I don't think this is going to end with the 5 day challenge you're doing. I think it's a great
No.
beginning for some people, and it's a great
Mm-hmm.
uh, stop on the path where other people have already begun their journey. But it's not going to end with that. You have to continuously learn to improve, to see where the gaps are, to fill in those gaps, right? And tweak things. So if you're feeling bad, because right now you're still using a Gmail address, you just heard JP talk about, that's one thing. You have to look like the professional you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
part of that in the branding world is, I mean, that's essential. If you don't look like
Oh
you're
yeah.
somebody who, a person who is willing to pay $50,000 to, if you don't look like that person, they're not going to pay it. They're not going to invest that with you because you don't look like someone who is worth $50,000 for
And
a
people
few
say a
hours
lot
of
of
your time.
times, right? And people say a lot of times, Tanya, that you don't judge a book by its cover. Let me be real with you. In the branding world, that's exactly what they're going to judge you by, the cover of the book.
Yeah,
It, it's the truth. And, I say, tell me the truth so that I can learn and change right now. Because every single day that I'm making the same mistake is costing me a lot of money.
yeah,
And that's the problem. I do not want to spend all this money and making nothing or making peanuts, right? When same people, they're not smarter than me, are making 10 times more.
mm-hmm.
Why? Let me share with you something. One thing that I've learned is whenever you're starting a business, start with the exit in mind. What do you mean, JP? The exit. Like start with how much you may want to sell that business for in mind. Well, JP, I don't think I ever want to sell my business. That's not the point. The point is build it with certain values in mind that if a major organization decide to acquire, how much would you be willing to sell that business for and never lack money ever again? That is the type of mindset you want to follow when you're starting your business. So if you think like that, there are certain things you would do guaranteed without question. Now, if you start with it's just a little side gig, then you have to be comfortable being paid the side gig money.
It's true.
It's very simple. And
It's
I'm
true.
speaking to a specific target right now. I'm talking to people that truly want to make, let me repeat that, sustainable cash flow every single month consistently so you can live off of what you do. Not everybody wants to do that. That's
That's right.
perfectly fine. But if you want to learn how to consistently build a business that will consistently pay you every month, then come to the challenge. We have a lot to talk about and to unpack. Can't
I'm
wait.
telling you, this is interesting, what you're talking about, because I have been in both seats. And I see Stacy Moore saying, yes, sir, exit strategy, speaking my language. I've been in both seats. I've been in the seat of, I'm comfortable, I'm okay because I'm doing my six figures in a different way. And then
Right,
this is my
right.
side gig. But then at some point, there's a light switch, especially when the older you get, you start making different decisions and you think, what is my next chapter going to be about? And when you start
Mm,
thinking in that way, so I'm saying to all of you, if you're not there right now, it's okay. You may get to the point, however, at someday you're going to say, I want this to be my full-time gig. I need this to
mm-mm,
actually be my bread and butter. And if that's something you're thinking about now, even if it's not in the moment applicable to your situation, if there's something you're thinking about, and when you do start thinking about it, you have to position yourself differently. So, going to events like this and hearing from people who have already done it, $50 million from a podcast? What?
exactly.
If you've already, look, I want to go hear from people who have done that thing. So,
Hmm.
that shifts the mindset of how I set things up for my business. That's why I've been in building mode. I've told you, I've been in
Hmm.
restructure mode for my business and my company because now I'm like, hold up, I want to treat this more seriously. Like this,
Yeah, it
I
is.
want it to be an
It
income
is.
generator.
Yeah, I mean, Tanya. The other day, I was having a candid conversation with another professional, and we were talking about retirement, right? Like how Social Security may or may not be there by the time we get a certain age.
That's right.
And so, what are we doing? What are we doing today, right? In order to position ourselves, never to have to look for Social Security, or if you live in the United States, that is, what's going to pay you after you retire. My grandmother, in law, just passed away. She was paid peanuts and all. you don't want to live like that, right? You really don't want those things. Well, you need to set some things in play right now, right? Something as little as put in $2,500 in your Roth IRA. You can do that for your children, for yourself, and that thing, even if you don't put anything, you just put in $500 every single year. That thing, by the time you're 35 years later, it will pay you at least $1 million. A lot of folks don't know those things, and here's the thing: you can get it out tax free. We need to set some things in place so that we are financially independent, so that our businesses are really paying us and that we're just enjoying our families. It's not just about looking good and doing podcasts and smiling anymore. If you're tired, I mean, unless you're not tired about doing that, if you're tired of just going live or doing podcasts and all those stuff that people said on social media, and you're not really making any money, you're like, I'm tired of these things. I'm serious about my future.
Yes.
Let's talk. Let's share these strategies that we've learned.
Let me pop some of these comments up. Okay, so first of all, again, Stacy Moore, right? We have to be more serious. And by more serious, it doesn't mean we can't have fun.
Right.
So let me make sure that I say that it's not just about work, but it is about being strategic and intentional and on purpose. What's up, Gabe in the house?
Hey, what's good?
He said, look at these two awesome creators. Look, if y'all have questions, definitely pop them in the chat, because we're not here just to promote the event, although I think that's a big part of this, because I want you to come. I'm going to be there. I also want you to get answers to your questions right now. If you're challenged as a content creator, he said talking bread and butter. I just read that. It's making me hungry.
I read that too.
We think you're a favorite too, Gabe.
Hey, what's good? Wow. Pastor Team English. Thanks for being here.
Dropping the knowledge bombs. Financial independence number. Exactly what is it that you want to make? Yeah, I know, Gabe. But you know what? Some people say they just want to create and they just want to have fun, and I get that. And as long as you're eating well,
right,
and you're going to continue to eat well, and your family is in good shape, okay. Even if you're independently wealthy because somebody left you a lot of money, that's great. But that's not most of us.
Now I know I know I don't have $50 million in my bank account right now, but I'm working towards that. I know I'm a father. I have children. I want to buy more properties, right? I want to build certain things, and I want to enjoy my life, right? And content creation can do all of that. It's done it for other people, family. He can do it for me too. It's just all about understanding the strategies and the play to implement and put things in place, and we're good, right? And so that's what we're talking about here. Enjoy what you do, but put things in place that will allow you to enjoy what you do even better. Because Tanya, can I be real?
Okay, let's go.
I know a lot of people that tell me, I'm good. And then a few months later, ask, man, how do I make money with this thing?
Yeah. I'm good because I'm putting stuff out here. I'm building my YouTube channel, and I got people liking my post, and that's fine. But if you're not monetizing it, if you're not thinking about the conversion strategy, the conversion of people moving from just liking your stuff to what I say is from crickets, you moving people from crickets to content cash building. Like, how are you building cash from the content? It's not just, hey, I'm liking it, or I'm silently watching you. It is, now I want to become a paying client. You want,
and let me give you an example, Tanya, if you let me. I'm gonna give you a clear example, right? And this is proven because we'll be talking about how to create a business with your content, right? And so I was having this conversation like, what you mean create a business with your content? Come on, monetizing? No, we're not talking about getting paid peanuts by YouTube and all of that. Let me give you an example. Kevin Hart, right now. Kevin Hart is selling sportswear. Now, he's not known as a person that sells apparel. He's an actor. Now, here's the thing. Creating content, now leveraging the community he built, to create another business. So now we're talking about multiplication.
Mm.
So yes, you love podcasts, but let me be real. The folks that make $50 million is not just speaking to a microphone. It's understanding how to multiply and leverage the community you're building and put strategy in place to keep making more money with that thing. The Rock, same thing.
Yeah.
The list keeps going on. If you go look them up right now, yes, they're still doing what they're known to do, but then they have multiplication areas where they multiply ways of generating income and then making additional millions of dollars. That is how you can be free. And if we ignore what successful people have been doing for years and we think we're going to reinvent the wheel, we're in for the rude awakening.
Yeah.
Let's follow the blueprint.
Yes, yes, yes. Lionel said, "What's up? Hello, party people. Hey,
What's
hey,
good,
hey.
Lionel?
I love it. I love it. So here's a question. Stacy Moore says, do we start with the front end or the back end or balance the two? Give me a little bit more, Stacy, on your question about that. Start with the front end or the back end? Meaning, is the question around, do we start by thinking of what we want the outcome to be in the end? Because I think JP kind of alluded to that. Like,
Right.
what's our exit strategy first? And then how do we want to backfill? Like, what's the steps that will lead us to that outcome? Or is there a different question in mind? See, Tasha
I'm
said,
thinking,
what do you?
hey, Tasha, what's good? Hey,
What's good? What's
family,
good?
that's my real estate agent, right? That's the person that helped me close on this new property that I'm seated in. As a matter of fact, I'm in my new studio for the folks that didn't realize, right?
Oh, wait, let me
I'm
show
in
the
my new
studio.
studio. Yes,
Yeah.
family. This is a new studio, different from the previous one. If you didn't go to my YouTube channel, JP Hightek, go compare. This is a complete different space. And Tasha Delk is the person that helped me close on this new property that I'm sitting in right now. Amazing people. Thank you for joining us, Tasha. Awesome things here.
I love it. I love it. Stacy said compound cash flow. Tim, exactly. Content cash value. What's the cash value of your content?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're just getting likes and nobody's become a client, they're not clicking on anything to go to some place where they can actually pay, your cash value of your content is zero.
Right, right,
Like
right.
zero. Love it. Branding, visibility, or structure or so this is what she's
Oh,
asking. Okay.
I'm loving this. Okay, Stacy, let's dive into it, right? So we're talking front end or back end in regards to either you're doing your visibility first or your strategy. I alluded to that earlier. When you're building a house, what do you do first? You need the land, you need the blueprint, you need the strategy to build that before you put chandeliers and build the actual house. That's what's going to drive and what's going to position you to be visible for years and years and years to come, right? And the mistake a lot of folks do is they'll run into studios, take pretty pictures, hire photographers, pay to have a website, start creating content. They release their podcast and they're doing all of this and they're jumping everywhere. They're posting every day, but you don't have any strategy. You're making noise. But whenever adversity comes, you will fall. There's a reason why 7 out of 10 podcasts are discontinued in the first 90 days. It's because they're not making any money. But here's the thing. If you already have a strategy on how to make money before you even start the podcast, trust me, you'll be smooth sailing, right? Let me give you a strategy real quick for the folks that are joining us live right here. One of the things that I've done, okay, for my podcast, in order to start generating a lot of cash flow for it, is before I started the podcast, I thought about what to do in order to position and grow my community. Your community is very important. Your community are people that love what you do so much that decided to follow you everywhere and be part of your world. So I thought about what can I do 90 days into my podcast in order to attract people to join my community. What was that? Creators Unleashed Act 1 was released. That's the first edition of the conference. free. Okay. People
Mm-hmm.
joined. I did my podcast for 90 days. I was consistent for 90 days. I was showing up, delivering value for 90 days. Then I announced an event. I kept doing the podcast. Then we did our first edition of the conference. People showed up, then they joined my community. They saw the value I was giving, they saw the expertise that I had established through the content I was creating. And from there, they decided, here's the thing, they decided to invest more into the product and services that I've been offering through my
Mm-hmm.
podcast,
Yep.
which means that I already had the product before I started the podcast. I already had
Yep.
the service before I started the podcast. I already had a strategy, right, to create and invite people to an event before I started the podcast. I already had the idea of what I wanted to do as I leveraged the community before I started the podcast. And whenever the time came, all I did was just create, announce something that I already had. And people joined because I started at the very beginning, episode 1, with intention. What was that? Is show people what I do, which is branding, leveraging what? Technology and content creation, ingest that into the way I've structured my podcast and giving them an offer for them to work with me every single time I showed up. And here's the thing. People don't have to ask me anymore if I can do the job. What they ask me is how much can they pay me to do the job? And that's
Yes.
what I want you to think about before you even start. Because once you have that, trust me, it's very easy to pitch something. And people will jump on it because you've already established something very important in business, which is trust factor. And that's crucial.
Yeah. Lionel, he said it. Start with the end in mind. That's what you did. So you already
Yes.
had an idea of what you wanted to do and get to. Now, this is a great question. I love that you asked this because Lionel, I was about to, like, you and I were like right here because I was about to
Mm-hmm.
ask JP for those people who may not have started that way. Like, we're out there and we're putting our stuff, we're putting our heart and soul into generating the content. But now we have to kind of think about, wait a minute, do I need to pull back? So, what happens to people that have already started without an end in mind, without a strategy? What's your thought?
Oh man. Oh man. I'm loving these questions
I do
tonight,
too.
right? This is amazing. And Lionel, oh, by the way, for the folks that don't know, Lionel is another client of mine. He's amazing, by the way. He has an amazing podcast. You should go check him out. His podcast is amazing. Now, Lionel, great question. For the folks that they didn't start with the end in mind, the beauty, let me say it again. The beauty, let me say it again. The beauty of branding is you can pivot and redefine it anytime you see fit.
Yep.
You can redefine your brand's voice, mood, anytime you see fit. You can do it anytime. And the time you decide to pivot and rebrand or do a brand overhaul is when you restructure the focus of your company.
That's right.
That's where you ingest the strategies without leaving the company. And the beauty is that your community members will follow because all you have to do is establish that expectation for them to understand where you're going, why you're going there, and how you will get there. Believe it or not, people love a story
Yeah.
that has struggles where they
Mm-hmm.
can see themselves in your struggle better than a very well painted, story where they don't know how you get there and how you're doing those stuff. And
They
that
just see
is
that you're
the human
successful.
factor.
Right.
Right, right. I
They
know,
just see
right?
that. That's not good. Look, I'm going to tell you this too, because for those of you who, I'm kind of in the remedial class. I'm going to be honest. I didn't start out like what JP is telling you. That wasn't where I started. I didn't start with an understanding of this being truly a business and something that I really wanted to um, create consistent income from. So I'm going to be honest to say
Hmm.
that. When I recognized, however, that that was the move for me and the timing was right, because I'm saying this, my heart is telling me I need to say this for people who are feeling a little bit down because they're listening to you and they're thinking, but
Hmm.
I'm not there, or I didn't do this right. And now I feel depressed because I've got all this stuff out there, but I feel like I can't turn it around. Once you
Hmm.
make a decision, everything starts with a decision. Once you make the decision that you're ready to change and you're ready to get serious about this thing, that's when you start positioning yourself by putting yourself in spaces like this challenge, okay? By putting yourself, surrounding yourself with other people who are doing well. Because you know the old adage about you're like the five people you hang around the most.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily mean the physical people that are in your presence. It could mean that, but it also means what you're feeding yourself with. What podcast are you listening to? What books are you reading? Who are you allowing into your space? Are you constantly allowing the news to be in your space or other things that are depressing? Or are you actually feeding yourself with motivation and with things and people who have done what you want to do? You can do that and you can make the shift. Look, my shift has come. I'm in the
Mm-hmm.
process of shifting right now. I know I did a lot of things wrong. I'm making that shift right now and making an intentional decision to surround myself with these type of people like JP, like Chris Stone, who I see here in the comments. Chris was my guest last week. He's amazing.
Hey,
There,
Chris.
yeah, I mean, we get it. We have an opportunity. So no matter where you are in your journey, all I want to tell you is that it's not too late, but you'll see the fruits of your labor when you start to put the intention and the purpose and the plan in place. You still have a
Mm.
chance to do that. So I just didn't want to leave folks out who might feel like it's too late.
Right.
It's not too late. Yeah, Tatiana, that's crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's sad. Yep, Tatiana. Very
Tim
sad.
said, man, show me how to multiply.
Hey, absolutely. And that is one principle that I love, the power of multiplication, right? If we don't understand how to multiply, then we can't grow while we have. And you can work so hard every day and your money just, getting out of your hand by the time you use it, you spend it.
Right.
So we got to do that.
And you need to go follow people, engage with people who have already done what it is you're trying to do. We have to be careful that we're not following people who are just saying they did it. We need the
Hmm.
receipts.
Hmm.
We need the
Oh,
receipts.
yeah.
So
Love that, Valerie. She says she's ready for the challenge. Let's
she's
go. Let's
ready.
go. I'm pretty sure Tanya will share the link in the show notes at the bottom
Yep.
for the folks. Just go there. She's going to share the link with you. Go there, click, register, get your pass right now, and let's grow this thing because it's serious.
And the QR code that's on screen is taking you directly to JP's page, by the way. So the QR code I've been popping up all along, just click on that and that'll take you right there. But I'll add the link as well. Let me go back. I stopped listening to folk who are not designed to help me move in the direction I need to go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I love that you're putting this out here for people to be able to consume this information. What else do you want to leave us with as we are winding down?
Yeah, I can't wait, family. I can't wait. I've been planning this for a while. I've been thinking about you guys for a while. And the people that know me know that I only talk about something I've done myself. Or I'll bring somebody in the room that's done something I didn't do so they can share what they've done. It's that simple, right? So by showing up there, you're literally about to accelerate your life because we have made mistakes, just like Tanya said, and we've learned from those mistakes. One major mistake that I did is spend over $50,000 of my own money into a building when there were banks that could have given me that money without me touching my own money. If we don't understand something, the 1% of this world do not use their personal savings. They use the bank's funding to do things, and the bank will give it to you right now. There are ways to do stuff. There are ways to generate income. There are ways to stay afloat, even if you don't have a 9 to 5. And how you
Well,
do that, we have to learn and change today.
look, and it's not just about doing this for the sake of money. I want anybody who has hangups and mental blocks around that idea, I want you to think about this in terms of creating a life that you love, that you enjoy, and where you can really your family can enjoy it. Your family can be inspired to do the things that they want to do. You can have choices and make better decisions because you're in a sustainable position versus let me rely on YouTube money. Let me rely
Hmm.
on Facebook or Meta money. No, this is something you
Right.
have to create the wealth through what you're doing and the choices that you're making. So you've got to make better choices. And now is the perfect time to do that.
And you know what, Tanya, I want to live with this one thing that's on my heart. I really want to share with people. This is so important to me because people don't really talk about financial freedom in the creative space. In the creative space, what you usually hear about and see is all about, which is nothing wrong with that, but it has to do more with the technology, the camera, all of those amazing things, which is good. We need those things. But the reality is that we're people, we're spending money, and we're looking for ways to really stop the bleeding. And several people, right,
Yeah.
are not financially free. I care so much that I want to share this with you because we all need to strive to be financially free. And there are ways to do that. And we creators that build the creator economy, we also need to know that. Not only people in the business economy, right? The investment world, the stock market world. No, there are things that we can do, implement today, so we can take care of our families and be free, not having to have a burden that a bill is not paid, the electricity is not paid, there's not enough money in the bank account, or those days where you see your bank account go into the red. No. And I care about people, and I want to share that, and we will learn together. And I'm going there to learn myself. So if this resonates with you, show up because these are the type of things that transform my life
Yes.
and a lot of people I know.
I'm going to pop it up again because I want to make sure people have access to the information. So that QR code that you see right there, Creators Unleashed Live Summit, I will make sure that everywhere this is being broadcast that you have the URL for that too. I do want to pop up a few outgoing comments. Look, if you learned anything at all, if there was one thing, one golden nugget you take away from tonight, I want you to pop that into the chat. What's the one thing you're going to walk away with that you did not know or hadn't really embraced until you came tonight to the show? Yes, yes, yes. Tim said, let's go. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Let's go.
Let's
We'll see you
go.
at the conference. Take that advice to the bank, y'all. I know that's right.
Yes, sir, Chris.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Chris.
Appreciate you.
It's truth. It's truth. It's about impact and influence for good. That's my goal. That's my goal too. And you
Yep.
can hear it
Yep.
in what is being shared by our guests tonight. I want to thank you, JP, for coming and for just sharing your heart as you always do. Sharing your heart, but also sharing this right here. You always have some nuggets to share that make me think. And I said that in my email to folks this afternoon is that he's always going to give you some advice that's going to make you think and think differently. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you for coming once
Thanks for
again.
having me. It is an
Yeah.
honor. Thank you so
Yes,
much. I
yes, yes.
appreciate that.
Tell the wife and kids that Auntie Tanya said hi.
Will do. Will do. Will do. And of course, I'll see you at the event definitely. And I'll be in your DMs. We'll be growing together and doing amazing things. I love what you do, and can't wait for all of us to go on the next side and do bigger things together. Looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and close us out. But I really, really appreciate you. So hang on for me for a second. Okay, folks, if you didn't like this video, what are you waiting for? It's time. Go ahead and click the like button right now. I do forget to ask, so I try to remember to do that. Thank you so much. Tasha said, great show, JP. Stacy said she got a great reminder about OPM, other people's money. Tatiana said,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Thank you for sharing love for JP. If you haven't put something in the comments already about what you've learned from him, I want you to do that. If you're watching the replay, I want you to do that too. And if you've got questions that we didn't get a chance to tackle tonight, pop those in the chat because I do pay attention and I'll forward them to him and he will answer, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure. But also get yourself
Mm-hmm.
ready to actually come to the event because I do truly believe. And look, everybody knows that I don't promote anything that I don't believe in. If I don't believe in it, it's not going to be on my show. I'm not going to say you should do this. But I think that this is going, Creators Unleashed live is going to be amazing and you should be there. So I want you to show up. All right, folks. Thank you, Lionel. You're the real deal too, from what I hear. Can't wait to check out your podcast. Have an amazing evening, and I will see you on next week. We have another very special guest. And in between guests this month, because I've been doing guests all month, I do have a review that I want to do of a tool. I'll probably try to do it tomorrow because I want to do it before the time is up on the lifetime deal. But look for me to be on live tomorrow. It's a special edition live stream that I'll be doing tomorrow, which will be Friday the 17th. Okay, folks, have an amazing evening. Have a great weekend if we don't talk to you until next week. And we will see you next time in the stream.